Well, wherever you're watching, welcome to influencertv.com.au. This is, as you can see, the Sports Report. I'm Sergio Paradise, and joining me, as always, just having recently cancelled his holiday to the Ukraine, it's comic legend Trevor Marmalade.
How you going there, Serge?
Oh, not bad, Trev.
Now, big summer of sport.
It has been a big summer of sport.
Oh, and the Aussies have been on fire.
Have
they not?
They have. Now, are you talking cricket?
Well, where do you want to start? What, tennis?
Tennis, yeah.
Well,
Ash Barty.
Our Ash.
The Super Ks.
Oh,
don't we love the Super Ks?
The special Ks.
The special Ks.
The special
Ks. Yeah,
people have got around the Kyrgios. Finally.
Yeah, finally. It's taken him a while.
And that's the end of him, to be honest, as a singles player.
Yeah.
Like now he's discovered doubles. He can make plenty of money playing doubles, and you don't have to run.
You don't have to run.
Don't have to train.
Don't have to worry about being in the top 10.
Perfect.
You get knocked out even if
in fact,
you
they
go
will
away.
they'll be ranked. Yeah. They don't have to win another tournament. They'll be ranked up there.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't have to worry about top 10 rankings.
Instead of having to beat every ranked team in it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. But, the special Ks, well, the jury's still out on Kokonakis, I reckon.
No, he played well, though.
He did play well. He's probably
he pulled his weight.
He's the lesser of the two players as a singles player.
But he actually is au fait with double strategy and movement.
Oh, he's well across it.
Just going to go out, see hit ball.
I'm more thinking, is he a good bloke or not?
Well,
does it matter?
Well, I don't know. Yeah. It seems like he could be.
He could be.
How would you know?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I'm probably being harsh. I've always liked Kyrgios.
I love the Nick.
Yeah.
Always loved the Nick.
Yeah, same here. I mean, a lot of people have always hated his guts because he carries on and but geez, I think tennis needed it.
Oh, look, I just love everything about the way he plays.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, like, back in the day when we moved out of home, I remember at the end of school, when someone moves out of home, the first house where someone, the first joint where everyone gets to pile in without parents around.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean.
My friend at the time, Tony Dowdle, he moved into a joint with a few of my mates, and when he first moved in, Wimbledon was on. Yeah. And you know how there's always a bloke there that's not the sharpest tool in the box. They always bring up the stats with the serving percentages and stuff, and typically it comes up. First serves won 85%, second serves won 59% or 65%, and the guy says, "Why didn't he just hit his first serve twice?" and we laughed, and it became a standing joke. Yeah. But the thing is, Kyrgios wins 90% of points on first serve. And that's what he does. He hits his first serve twice. Yeah. It's actually...
He doesn't take much off the second one.
No, he hits sometimes he hits the second one harder.
And if he's in the
problem is I didn't hit the first one hard enough.
Yeah, I'll go big on the second one. Or the underhand, the underarm serve. Oh, I mean, he's brought that back into the game.
Well, the thing is, if Nadal's going to go and stand with his back against the wall... Yeah. And why not bring him forward?
And the Russian
bloke
a legitimate who stands now 5 metres back, almost in the audience.
Mr. Charisma.
Didn't he? He won a few friends, didn't he?
Yeah, didn't From day one.
Yeah, well, he had the pressure on. He had to invade Ukraine 3 weeks later. So he had a fair bit of pressure on his shoulders.
And the cricket, great summer of cricket.
Didn't you love the Ashes?
Oh, well,
I mean, I always love your 5-day test matches, but then to smash the Poms even better.
Well, we didn't get many 5-day test matches.
No, that's true. That's true. Didn't the MCG one
once they threw the ball to Scotty Boland, it's all over.
Didn't he come out of nowhere and have an absolute blinder?
I tell you what, from nowhere to cult hero in the space of a day.
Absolute cult hero. But the Ashes was just, and it just reinforced how good Test cricket is compared to every other level of cricket.
Well, yeah. And,
which purists, we've always thought that, but,
Let's go 4-0 and sack the coach.
Yeah, exactly. Let's win the World Cup T20 first, and then 4-0 in the Ashes, which should have been 5-0.
Which could
exactly. Well have been 5-0. And, get rid of the coach. What did you make of Langer?
Well, I don't know. Trying to read between the lines, I think it's a case of he was the right coach when he took over. Yeah. But at a certain point, you've got to change gears. It's like, when you're a parent, when your kids are 5, you can tell them what to do and they want you to. Yeah. When they're 15, you've got to change gears.
Exactly. Yeah, because
You
A,
really
they
do.
won't do it.
Yeah.
B, they start telling you what to do.
Well, and they know everything, right?
Yeah, there's nothing they do not know. When
Absolutely
they're 15.
nothing. So you got
And we were the same when we were 15.
Of course.
Exactly.
Yes.
But, with Langer, you're right about he was certainly the right coach at the right time. He strikes me as just being your real old-fashioned coach, like extremely old-fashioned. I remember when we were kids or playing junior sport, you always
He's
slightly
Dennis Pagan.
You slightly feared the coach. Exactly. You automatically respected the coach, and you knew he had your best interest and the team's interest at heart, but you still feared him just a little bit.
Well, exactly, and it was good.
And you're not allowed to fear anybody.
Well, exactly. Once upon a time, you wanted your coach to have a bit of scary in him.
Yeah.
But now.
Now you.
And I rather suspect that the dick pic saga has claimed 2 victims, because once Payne was gone, that was Langer's man as captain.
Yeah.
And the revolution happens shortly after.
I'll tell you, Justin Langer's probably looking at his phone and going, geez, I'm glad I never hit that airplay. I'm glad it was only painting, So, the cricket was just magnificent. What about, now, another great sporting event, of course, one of the world's greatest.
One of our favourites.
One of our favourites, and it's getting bigger every year in Australia, of course, is the Super Bowl.
Well, indeed. Sergio and I went to, the first time I ever went to a game of NFL, we went together back in the day. And it was a classic example back then of the less you know, the better it goes sometimes. Sometimes knowledge is just
Where was that? Was it in LA? Was it?
We were staying in LA, and we woke up on a Sunday morning and went, hang on, what do we do today?
Yeah.
And we go, hey, what?
We're hungover. Naturally.
Rams v Giants playing at Anaheim, a mere 2 hours drive in the car. Right? So we go, well, I haven't got a ticket. We'll just drive out to Anaheim, buy a ticket off the scalper, and go and see the game.
Well, I remember when we got there, we finally got a park, and I think didn't we go up to a couple of LA cops and played the we're idiots from Australia, where do we get a ticket from? And I think he just grabbed his nightstick and pointed at a sign that said tickets. It was pretty much that simple.
Well, my memory, a guy came up to us and
That's
sold
right.
us. Like, we'd been standing there for like 2 minutes, and a guy just walked up and said, "You guys want some tickets?" And we went, "Yeah, sure." Yeah. And we bought them for like, I don't know, $60 each. Or something like
well, it was. We weren't ripped off.
And we got to see the Rams, the home team Rams, with Eric Dickerson playing a blinder, defeat the Giants, who actually went on to win the Super Bowl that year.
Was that Phil Simms, the quarterback?
Sims. Yeah. And, they finished up winning the Super Bowl. And I remember going back to Santa Monica where we were staying. We went to a little bar there, talking to a couple of locals. And, what have you been? Oh, we told them what we'd done. They went, "You what?" Yeah. Well, you drove out to Anaheim without a ticket, and you bought one.
Yeah, and you got one. Yeah, I'm amazed.
Nobody does that.
No, exactly.
Oh, well, just as well. Otherwise, we wouldn't have got a ticket.
No, we would have sat here and watched it on telly like you did.
It just shows sometimes the less you know, the better it goes.
Exactly. So, what did you make of this year's Super Bowl?
It was a close game rather than a great game.
Yeah.
It didn't help that both quarterbacks spent the whole second half injured.
Yeah, injured. And what was it? The Bengals guy, what's his name?
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow, yeah. He got sacked 7 times.
Well,
which is not going to help.
Well, they did a great job, Cincinnati, because at the start of the year, they were coming off a season where they were 2-14 and 2-8 with Burrow as a starter. So at the start of the year, they would have been sitting around going, "What do we need? Everything."
Yeah.
And not even for a minute thinking they were going to make a Super Bowl.
No.
And did a magnificent job considering that they couldn't protect their guy.
Yeah, I mean, I think runner-up in the Super Bowl, but they'll be on the shopping list to be probably a new offensive line.
Exactly. Now we do the...
Burrow's actually pretty handy. Might be an idea to protect him.
We might stop blokes getting to him, and we might give him some weapons to throw the ball to.
Yeah, that wouldn't hurt.
So I think they'll be back, but it was a close game rather than a great game.
Yeah.
But always a great spectacle when it's close.
Oh, exactly. I mean, too many of them in recent years end up being blowouts. And the spectacle's always there, but not necessarily a great game of American football.
In recent history, they've tended to be closer games.
Yeah.
There was a period in time there where it was just a blowout every single year.
Yeah. But, I mean, there were a lot of mistakes made in this one, which is not necessarily a bad thing because you don't mind seeing a few fumbles.
Yeah, there wasn't a lot of offense in the second half.
Yeah. And and a couple of trick plays. I always like a trick play. I always love it when the quarterback hands it off to another bloke who passes it. And your first thought is, gee, I wonder if this bloke can throw the ball. And forgetting that he's been playing American football since he was 5 and probably can throw a pass.
Well, the pass that got thrown to Matthew Stafford,
yeah,
it was probably just as well it went over his head because he would have been absolutely levelled.
Yeah,
if that
he
pass
would have
had
been
on target, and
Yeah.
he would have been short of the first down as well.
Yeah.
So they caught a break there.
Yeah, it was only 6 inches too high, but it was a lucky 6
But
inches,
just
I
as
think.
well.
Yeah, exactly. The halftime show.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, it was one of those ones you needed to crank it up
was
nice and loud.
About time they did something like that.
Yeah, true. I mean, they nearly lost me a couple of years ago with Maroon 5. I've got to say. It's just not quite cut it. Yeah, and before that, yeah, you got Prince, you got Bruce Springsteen, the Rolling Stones, U2, Maroon 5. No, sorry, get out. But yeah, I thought it was fantastic, the whole thing. And I've never been to a Super Bowl. I've been to a couple of NFL games and quite a few college games when I was over there, staying at a college there. But I've never been to a Super Bowl. You have.
Yeah.
One of the great experience. Is it as great an experience as everyone says?
Well, look, it's
hard to imagine it not being.
Also, not just a great experience, but also because it goes into the file of the rorting all over the world. It just in how I get there in the first place. Like back in the day,
and you are a master of this.
Well, back in the day, you got to be on the ball though too.
Yeah.
When Channel 9 had the rights to the Super Bowl,
that's right. Yeah.
It used to clash with the Australia Day Test in Adelaide.
Right.
In those times, and it was always a kerfuffle because they would show the cricket live, obviously, and show a replay of the Super Bowl
That's
night.
right.
So you never got to see the Super Bowl
Because
live.
there was only Channel 9. There was no streaming. There was
That's
no 9 Go. There was no Gem.
Anyway, so I'm flicking through the paper one day, and I see that Cricket Australia have moved the Adelaide Test from Australia Day. And I've gone, hang on a sec.
Bang.
My network is doing the Super Bowl live, so straight on the phone. In Sydney, Gary Burns, the great man, head of sport up there. I go, Gary, there you go. He said, Trev, what's happening? I said, mate, if I happen to be in San Diego around the end of January, what would be the chances of getting a ticket to the Super Bowl?
Is there any chance? Yeah.
And he went, mate, you're an absolute freak. He said, I'm sitting here as we speak, filling out the accreditation form for the Super Bowl. He said, we've got 4 spots allocated and there's only 3 of us going. Oh. I said, well, hello.
Well. Just in that last one, just put T Marmalade.
Problem solved.
Thanks.
Problem solved.
So not only did you get a ticket, you were accredited as a 9-network
But
correspondent.
he said at the time, he said, oh, mate, he said, give me a week. Give me a week and I'll confirm whether you're going or not. Right. Now, I reckon I was sitting there, like if I'd called him at 11:24 on a Tuesday, the following Tuesday at 11:23, I'm sitting there going...
You're just hitting the last digit of his phone number.
Yeah, we're right. Yeah. No, you're aboard.
Bang.
Fantastic. So yes, and that's the thing, is that I get there and I've got to pick up my media accreditation, even though I'm representing fuck all media outlets.
Nobody.
No reporting at all. So, and because of it, like for the week of the Super Bowl, there's like media parties basically every night.
Yeah.
So I think the first night there was
they do it brilliantly. You know.
Oh, it's fantastic. And everywhere you go, it's like, it's off the arm. Food, drink, premium, all supplied. So I think the first night was a party at SeaWorld in San Diego.
Right.
And then the second night, there was marquees set up near the pier in San Diego there, and so I took myself off to the media party, and I'm standing there. I look across, I do a double take. Who do I see? Mick Malthouse.
Mick Malthouse.
He's there with Trevor Nesbitt, who was the CEO of the West Coast at the time.
Yeah.
And like they'd actually scarpered for a week and not actually told anyone they were going.
It's January, pre-season hasn't really. Well, it's probably kicked in by then.
Probably has by then. But they said, oh, no, we felt we deserved it, so we just took off.
Fair enough.
And so he says to me, like, I've got tickets to everything, but I haven't got tickets to the Commissioner's Ball or the tailgate party. Now, the Commissioner's Ball on the Friday night, that's the big one.
Yeah.
That
sounds like
that is
that's
the
your
one
that's your A-list black tie.
That is the A-list. They spend millions on it. And the tailgate party is legendary.
Yeah.
So anyway, so I'm chatting to Mick, and course of the night, he goes, "Oh, have you got tickets to the Commissioner's Ball?" And I went, "No." He said, "Oh, I'll get you one." Thank you very much. So I roll up to
Who'd have thought the coach of the West Coast Eagles would have the pull to get you a ticket to the Commissioner's Ball?
Well, he did. So I roll up to the Commissioner's Ball with Mick Malthouse. Then on the Sunday, Ed's in town because he's hosting, and he's staying in the same hotel as Ross Oakley and a whole bunch of AFL heads who are over there on a junket to go and see the Super Bowl. And so I meet them at the hotel foyer. We can transport it out there. And standing having a chat to Ross Oakley, and his son's there. He says, "Oh, have you got a ticket to the tailgate party?" I went, "No." He said, "I've got a spare one up in my room. I'll go and get it."
This is already number one on the rorts list.
Totally. But while I'm standing there, and this is one of the ways I've revolutionised the game of American football.
I'd heard that you changed the game of American football.
Well, a couple of times.
Yeah.
A couple of times.
So this is the first one?
So, this is one of the times. Yeah. I stand there chatting to Ross Oakley, and I said to him, "Oh, by the way," I said, "how come at the end of the Super Bowl they present the trophy in the locker room?" I said, "Surely, it's much better the way we do it, present the trophy on the ground." Yeah. And he went, "Actually, you're right." He said, they've been out and seen the way we do it. He said, "I'll mention it." Well, guess what? The next year, they presented the trophy on the ground.
They are on the ground.
On the ground with the confetti coming down. ESPN get an extra 2 hours out of the broadcast. I've made them a fortune.
Yeah, I was about to say, there should have been a thanks to Trevor Marmalade panning around on the 360-degree screen.
But the game itself was just unbelievable. It's a fantastic spectacle. And the thing about it is that living in Australia, we're used to cricket grounds and football grounds. Yeah. And sometimes it's hard to see over the other side. You don't understand that when you get to an arena that's only 100 yards long.
Exactly.
Every ticket is a good ticket. Yeah. You see the whole ground. In fact, it seems so small.
Yeah, it does.
That they play it.
Yeah, Australians don't. And the closest you could do is point them to Amy Park. It was like a soccer,
pretty much
rugby league stadium. But the American ones.
But it's built straight up, and you're right over.
There is not a bad seat, and you're close to the action.
It's great, and the tailgate party. How good's this? Starts off KC and the Sunshine Band,
bang,
followed by Doobie Brothers' original lineup. The first time Tom Johnson had played with them in 20 years.
Still remember.
So doing all the old stuff.
Doing the China Grove riff, yeah.
Well, first song, China Grove.
Oh, bang.
3 chords into that, the crowd's going nuts. And the game itself was a ripper. It was Green Bay Packers versus the Denver Broncos. So Brett Favre
and John Elway. Yeah, oof.
And 27-all with 2 minutes to go.
Yeah.
And you're thinking, okay, this is not the blowout Super Bowl it's always been. Yeah. Come to see a good one.
Fantastic.
It was a beauty.
Oh. But so you've got not only tickets to the Super Bowl, you've weaseled a ticket out of Mick Malthouse, the Commissioner's Ball.
Mm-hmm. And the tailgate party.
And the tailgate party.
And not only this, at the time I had a holiday in my contract for Channel 9, so they actually paid my flights and
they flew you there as well. Oh, that is just magnificent. Now, tell us about the tailgate parties. How many people are at the tailgate parties? This is another thing Australians don't realise.
Well, this is the official tailgate
this is like
this is a special
public
function. So
tailgate party.
Like, foods from all around the world and stuff like that. And there's only probably, 1,000 people in this sort of area. So, 20 metres from the stage watching them crank out a bit of China Grove.
Oh, yeah. And KC and the Sunshine Band,
Hey, how can you go wrong?
I saw KC and the Sunshine Band in Vegas years before, and he was sort of... He hadn't made any great comeback at that stage. He was
they'd had their 3 hits from the 70s.
They'd had their 70s
but
disco
that's okay
hits.
in America. You can do that.
Yeah, exactly.
Look at Kiss.
Yeah, still make a very, very tidy living. Now, that was your first Super Bowl? You've been to more than one.
No, that was the only one I've been, but the other time I revolutionised the game.
Yes.
Well, back when we started the footy show, obviously people were saying, how are they going to do a footy show with no footage
without the footy,
because Channel 7 weren't going to allow us to have any footage, which turned out to be a positive bonus for us because we came up with Street Talk and Almost Footy Legends. And so in that spirit of trying to find things to do we can shoot, I said, hang on a sec, why don't we do Super Kick? Ben Graham's in the league, who was like kicks the ball further than anyone else in history of the game.
Whoever has.
Why don't we set up a grid and see how far Ben Graham can kick it, and we'll get a few other blokes down as well.
Yeah.
So we do. We set up the day. Beautiful. Got a nice sunny day in the middle of winter. Hardly a breath of breeze.
Right.
And set it all up. I think Ben Graham obviously won it. I think he kicked the ball 82 metres. Second was Sav Rocker, 73 metres.
Yeah.
And only kicked the drop punt.
Yeah.
Didn't launch a torp.
No.
He was just a drop punt man.
Well, Sav Rocker, he played in the NFL. Well, he
finished up going to the NFL too. But here's what happens is afterwards, standing around talking to Ben Graham, and I say to Ben, I said, do you watch the NFL? And he goes, no, I've never seen it. I'm going, you got to be kidding me. I said, no, I've never really taken interest. I said, mate, you need to watch this. I said, there is a position on the ground called punt kicker.
So this is before. He wasn't even aware of the sport.
He was playing for Geelong. Had never watched a game of NFL. I'm going, mate.
You changed his life.
Here's the good news for you. I said, there's a position called punt kicker, and the even better news is you can't even tackle him. He comes on the ground 3 times a game on average, and you just roost it and you head off the sideline.
Yeah.
I said, mate, you got to do that. And you're going, oh, okay. So he started watching it, and I'd run into him every now and again. So, you watching it? Yeah, I'm watching it. I bought myself a ball. I'm practicing the kicking. Oh. All right, so this went on for years, and of course, when he finished his career at Geelong, he was straight on a plane to try out for the New York Jets, and there was no doubt that he was going to get the gig.
Yeah. I mean, you can imagine the New York Jets coaching staff. Some bloke from Australia here. He plays there.
Oh, no, they had some respect. I mean, also, he's a big bloke. He's, you know.
Yeah, he looks like an
He's
athlete,
walking in the door. You go, okay, he's got a bit of size about him.
Yeah.
But here's what Ben Graham did while he was in the NFL is that before he turned up, it was torpedo punt only.
Yeah.
And you know how conservative they are in NFL coaching. If you do something outside the box and it goes wrong and costs you the game, like jobs.
Yeah, you're
jobs
gone.
are like out the door.
Gone.
Right,
Yeah.
Pack up your stuff, don't come Monday. It's very conservative in that. So Ben gets there in certain kicking situations. You've got a short field. So if you're just outside field goal range, you've only got half the field to work with, and you can't really launch the full.
There's no point
torpedo.
You got to as far as you can
kick it up.
Yeah.
And he convinced them that he could kick the drop punt, and the way the drop punt spun, there was a fair chance that it could land on its point and basically bounce backwards or not progress forward.
He could put it to a specific part of the field.
He was going, I can do it, right? Yeah. In that situation, I can pin them inside the 10-yard line if I kick the drop punt and we get our boys down there to cover it. And for ages they were going, I don't know about this. Yeah. But he convinced them to just try it, to try to practice. Yeah. So they practiced it and eventually they went, okay,
Gotcha.
If we get in the situation, short yardage, we'll try it. And of course, the first time he did it, he kicked the ball, it stood on its point, bounced there, they covered it 2 yards out.
Yeah, done.
And you're going, okay.
And now every second punter in
this is the thing. NFL. Last year, I'm sitting on the couch watching the Super Bowl with a bunch of mates, and the Kansas City Chiefs kicker, who's an American, comes out, short field situation, kicks the drop punt. Yeah. We're going, boys, see there that? I did that.
Also, you're right.
Did I do anything? I actually did nothing,
but they're two big things that you did. I mean, it's not like you.
Well, Ben Graham did.
You got the flavour of chips changed at Yankee Stadium, you know.
But all credit goes to Ben. But he changed the game, but he'd never even heard.
I had no idea of that.
Football.
That is magnificent. Now, I also heard that when you went to the Super Bowl, you ran into a few big names off the field as well. Couple of linebackers at a restaurant.
Oh, yeah. In San Diego, it's fantastic. They got
it's a good town, San Diego.
It's great. They got the gas lamp district there, and it's done out with the old style gas lamps. It's electronic lights, but it's all done out. And it's a great street with restaurants and bars, and everyone hangs around there. And I walked into a restaurant. I'm not sure why I walked into a restaurant at 4:00 in the afternoon, and sat down. But I sat down, looked at the next table, and sitting at the next table were Jerome the Bus Bettis, Terrell Davis,
Terrell Davis.
Barry Sanders.
The Detroit Lions.
Greatest running backs in the history of the game.
They'd all be Hall of Fame members just about.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
for sure.
I mean, and what, the three of them just in there for an afternoon soiree, a couple of beers and a steak.
But, it's, you can run into people Super Bowl week.
Oh, yeah, Super Bowl week. I mean, you even saw it on the telecast this year. I mean, they zoom in on all the celebrities, and you go, oh yeah, there's Kanye West,
there's Leo DiCaprio.
Yeah, there's Jennifer Aniston, and there's what is he, Ben Affleck, and J Lo sitting there. Everybody, absolutely everybody was there, and you run into them. I mean, but you can have that experience in America, just generally, of running into celebrities. You must have seen a few.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, when I was working on Hey, you've had international celebrities coming through all the time, but it's different when you're just sort of like out and about.
Yeah, exactly.
I almost ran over Bob Geldof in town one day.
Well, see, this is your first failure.
Well, exactly. It's not often you get the chance, right? Yeah. Later, I'm going, what was I thinking? But I remember I was in New York one time, and it was January, it was winter, and the blizzard came across. Yeah. And everything got shut down.
Yeah, New York blizzards are something else.
Well, no flights in or out, and I had tickets to the Knicks game at Madison Square, and that got cancelled. Yeah. But obviously, there was a bit of a word going around that with people not being able to come in from interstate, that there were tickets available for the Dave Letterman show.
Ah, right.
So I thought
which are notoriously hard to get.
Well, impossible, virtually. So I thought I'll just take a wander down to the Ed Sullivan Theatre.
Down there on 53rd Street.
Correct.
Thereabouts.
See if I can score a couple of ducats. And I'm walking down the street. I look, and there's a bloke next to me walking down the street in an old jacket and sort of one of those furry hats with things coming
pulled down over the ears.
Oh, look, it's Dave walking down the street.
Dave Letterman himself.
On his way to the theatre, obviously. But I sort of like did the double take, and he sort of looked at me, I smiled, I thought, I'm not going to blow it for you, mate. What I should have said is, give us a couple of tickets, I won't blow it for you.
Give us a couple of tickets and I'll keep my mouth shut. I never saw Dave. I never got into the show at Letterman. But I did go to the Hello Deli and saw Rupert G in there and just saw him making a coffee. That was as close as I got.
Well, we went to the Carson show.
Yes, when we were in LA, we went, I remember because I was working at Grundy's, and Grundy's had an office there, and rang him up. And
he did very well here.
Yeah, we went and saw the Johnny Carson show, and his main guest that night was Milton Berle, the great Uncle Milty. There's your old school Hollywood there.
Absolutely, and I think at the time Milton was on the show to promote his new book, which was something like Every Joke Ever Written.
Yeah. It was by somebody else. Yeah.
And that was Johnny's intro. He said, "It's a book of every joke ever written." Some of them even his. For the thief of bad gags.
That's right. I forgot about that because. That was a great thrill just to see Johnny Carson in the flesh.
Well, and
talk about icons.
And some funny lines coming out, like Milton's there going, I'm very proud of this book. It's actually going to be in every library around the USA. And Johnny goes, so we don't have to buy it. And Milton goes, I wish I thought of that. He said, don't worry, you will.
You will. well, that's what I mean. You do run into people. I mean, you remember my late great mate Evil.
Yes,
he lived in New York for a couple of years, and I went and stayed with him for a few months. And we used to go to this bar on 23rd Street like nearly every night because it was always full of NYU chicks, and it was called Live Bait. And we used to go there every night, and to sort of try and combat.
They had like sharks and stuff on the drink, like rubber sharks and rubber stingrays and stuff hanging off your drink.
All that
stuff. People had them clipped to their hats and stuff.
Yeah, all of that, and fake fishing memorabilia all around the bar. It was.
In fact, I went there one night to Live Bait.
Yeah.
I remember, like I was walking around, I couldn't find it. I eventually went, I'll just get in the cab. So I got in the cab and said, "Can you take me to Live Bait?" And he went, "There." Thanks.
Thanks, mate.
Just here will be fine, thanks.
Here's $1 for your troubles. But we used to try and combat the effect of all the fried shrimp and beer by running through Central Park every second day.
Okay.
And so we were jogging through Central Park one day, and there's one of the running tracks, and I see a guy running towards us, which is not uncommon. But as he gets closer, I can see Evil's got a little flicker of recognition in his eyes that he knows this bloke. And as the guy comes past him, Evil puts his hand up and the bloke gives him the high five on the way through and keeps running. Evil stops and goes, "Who was that bloke?" It was Robin Williams. I said, "Who's that?" "That's Mork. That's Mork from Ork, the very man." That was him. That was in his days when he was running, in the days when we were running. But you do see people. I remember when last time I was in LA, went to Spargo restaurant one night.
Oh, okay.
Managed to
Who was paying?
snaffle
Obviously not you.
Yeah. I think I was paying this night.
Wow.
And but I only got a table sort of on the outskirts.
Yeah, right.
In the middle is where all the celebs. So I duck out the toilet. I find myself standing at the urinal next to Martin Short. And I think, what a great.
Was he aptly named?
Everybody asks that question. I didn't look. And but as he walked out, I thought, I wonder who Martin Short's here with tonight. So I watched him go back to his table. He sits down next to Steve Martin and Eugene Levy.
There we go.
And I thought, now that would be a funny table to be at.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think I prefer that to Barry Sanders, to be honest.
Well, probably would have got a better reaction than I got in the toilets with Martin Short.
I'll give you a little tip about New York, though.
Yeah.
Because New York, when I get to New York, first thing I do is go through Time Out and just book stuff.
Yeah.
Right? So I'm sort of like, anything. Comedy shows, theatre, Broadway, etc. And I'm looking at that, Eartha Kitt at the Carlisle Club. I'm going, want to go and see Eartha Kitt? Yeah, all right. Okay. So I booked the tickets. But I didn't realise what the Carlisle Club was. I mean, Princess Fergie, she used to stay at the Carlisle Hotel.
Right.
It's one of the joints.
It's pretty upmarket, yeah.
Okay. So I've turned up. I'm just wearing jeans and a skivvy and a jacket. And like in line, everyone's like dressed up, like they've got the sharp suits on, the evening wear.
This is your top shelf
Absolute
New York cabaret show.
But because I was underdressed, rather than shove me up the back and and people go, there's riffraff turning up. They did the opposite. They put me at the front table.
Oh, nice.
To go, all right, if you turn up like that, either he's like completely nobody or he's really somebody.
Or he's really, really big. Yeah.
This could be some eccentric billionaire.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we got sat at the
this
front
guy
table.
started
So I
Microsoft.
turned up in jeans and a skivvy.
Yeah. And everyone else in the full tuxedo.
Oh, correct.
Oh,
but
nice.
they're funny, the Yanks, though. Like, I'm sitting there, like, sharing a table with some other people. And they're going, who are you? I go, comedian from Australia. Are you famous? Yeah, pretty much, I guess.
Yeah.
Can we have your autograph? You don't
You don't know the name.
Nobody you know knows me. Right? But they were, like, just so impressed.
Yeah. But you signed it anyway.
So, yeah. So if you want the front table,
just
at a good joint, turn up looking like shit.
Dress like a slob.
Saving their reputation.
I've been trying that for decades and it's never really worked. Who else have you seen in your travels? Oh, I'll tell you another thing Evil and I did in New York. One Saturday night we were out, it was pretty late, we had a couple, we were walking back through Greenwich Village and we see down a bit of a side street, we can see like there's movie lights and there's cameras and crew, and we thought, must be making a movie, which is not uncommon on the streets of New York. We'll go down and have a look. So we walk down there and we see there's it's probably not there anymore. There was like an old-fashioned American service station on a corner in Greenwich Village. Okay. And then we see, you can just hear a bit of tinny music going and there's a couple of cameras. And then we see Billy Joel dressed up as a grease jockey miming to some song we'd never heard to Christy Brinkley and his wife. And so we're checking this out. This is pretty boring. And Abel goes, it's a pretty dull sort of song anyway. So we walk off, we head home, and then 3 weeks later we see the clip for Uptown Girl on MTV.
Oh, okay.
That was the night. That's the clip. He's dressed in the blue overalls, with the
there we go.
welding glasses on. So I saw Billy Joel there.
In the location.
Yeah, in the location. Although Evil, who was possibly one of the great bullshitters of all time, he once claimed when he was in New York, without a single shred of evidence, mind you, that he was at the Oyster Bar in Grand Central one night and shared a bottle of Prosecco with Al Pacino. I said, you have not shared a bottle of wine with Michael Corleone. You have not. He insists he did. But
I got a call one time back in the day when I was working at 3XY.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah, 3XY, my first ever job.
There we go. And I get the call from someone in promotions there going, what are you doing tonight? Yeah, I don't know. What are you got in mind? They said, we've got the opening of Rocky 3. And we need someone to get up there and, welcome the crowd and interview Sly Stallone.
Hello. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah, I'm in.
It was hilarious. And it turns out he's not that tall,
No, he's not.
He's shorter than me.
Yeah, he's not a big man.
And he was standing with his heels up against the wall.
Did he have the Cubans on?
Yeah, he had the Cuban heels, and he had them up against the wall. He's kind of on tiptoes to make himself look a little bit taller.
Look taller. Yeah, I remember saying, do you remember that when we were doing the grill team, the radio show, they had the opening of Planet Hollywood at Crown, and it was a Sunday night, and they'd flown out big-time celebrities from the States for this, and so it was going to be a big thing, and we were broadcasting that night, and my job was to be out on the red carpet, but they were like ramps going up outside that back entrance to Crown, near where Planet Hollywood was, and the celebrities would walk up the ramps, and my job was to run out with the microphone.
Accost people
and try and get them to say something on the radio show. And the only problem was that it was a Sunday night, and that was the day that Princess Di had been killed in the car accident in Paris. And so that threw a bit of a pall over the whole thing. And, and even Richard Wilkins, who was hosting the thing up on the stage, he said, this is going to be a shocking night tonight, because half of these celebrities knew Princess Di, were friends with her. So we're getting nothing. And I remember I was on the red carpet getting nothing. I saw Sylvester Stallone. He just walked straight past, and I thought, yeah, he's short. And then I see this really old bloke, sort of just going very slowly up the ramp, and I thought, I'll go and see who this is. Sir Peter Ustinov, who I know was personal friends with Princess Di. And so I've run up to him and gone, oh, Mr. Ustinov, and before I could get another word out, he sidestepped me and just kept walking. And I'm thinking, he's an 80-year-old bloke with a walking frame, and he's gone past me like Robert Harvey. He's just thrown the ball. And I thought, this is really going to be a struggle this night.
I've got a Princess Di story.
Yeah?
Well, we're in London with Molly and Plucker and the team. We got a call from Molly one time. It was about a month before Australia Ashes tour of England.
Yeah.
He rings me up and goes, mate, we've got to get there. We've got to get there somehow. We've got to convince Daryl to send us over there. I'm going, mate, good luck with that. He said, no, we got it. Okay. I said, okay, well, yeah, I'll see what I can do. Thinking, what are the chances? A couple of weeks later, pick up the paper, there's an article that the Australian team had taken a Plucker duck doll on the tour, and anyone that made a duck had to be the custodian of the Plucker duck doll. It had to go everywhere with them. They had to look after it. They had to sleep with it until the next guy made a duck.
Oh, bingo.
So we go straight into Daryl. Daryl, read this. So you go, we've got to send you guys. We should send Molly too. Good idea.
There you go. There you go.
Anyway, so we finish on this absolute junket to go and watch the Aussies play. And so obviously we get there a couple of weeks early before the test to do some location shooting. And I think we were doing the opening of Madame Tussauds. They're opening a new Madame Tussauds in London.
Right.
So we did a shoot there.
And they do it pretty well, your Madame Tussauds over there.
They do it pretty well. So we're there with Molly, and we're just shooting a bit for that. And we had a couple of hours to kill before we started shooting in the afternoon. So we said, we'll meet back at Piccadilly.
Yeah.
And so I sort of had a bit of a wander around, and I sort of come around the corner into Piccadilly. People everywhere.
Right.
Absolutely everywhere. And have I told this story before?
No. Not as far as I know.
People absolutely everywhere. There's barricades, like holding crowds back. There's police. There's outside Planet Hollywood, and there's a couple of limos there. And
what's going on
here? A bunch
here?
of photographers. Yeah. Right. And I said, one of the photographers said, what's going on here? He said, Princess Di has gone to Planet Hollywood with the two princes who were like, I think 9 and 6 at the time or something like that. And everyone's waiting for them to come out.
Getting a photo, of course, yeah.
Okay, so, but, we're going, well, that's a bit inconvenient. I'm trying to get to the other side, and there's all these barricades. Yeah. I look up, and of course, they've got people barricaded on the sidewalks, and there's no traffic, And I look up, and there's Molly walking down the middle of the road.
As only Molly could do.
Right? And he gives me away, hey, mate. And just as it happens, out comes Princess Diana with the two princes, holding the hand. Yeah. She puts them into the limo, and she looks up and said, Molly, hi, I'll call you. I'm standing next to a battery of photographers who are going click, 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 and they go,
Who's that bloke with the hat on?
Well, and the photographer's take the photo. Go, who is that? I went, that's the Viscount of Luxor, of course. As if you don't know, right? They go, oh, right, okay. So the rest of that. So the next morning, we're staying at the Regent.
Viscount of Luxor.
The next morning, we're staying at the Regent. We go down for breakfast, and it's like, it is well-to-do.
Yeah,
it's
the Regent,
It's breakfast, and all the waiters are in tuxedos. Yeah. They're all 90-year-old blokes in tuxedos, producing stuff from under the cloche. Yeah. So we order our smoked salmon and scrambled eggs. Yeah. And a guy comes up, would you like a paper, sir? I said, oh, yeah, London Times, old boy. He comes back to the London Times, and the photo is on the front of the London Times. Molly's got it. And it's that exact moment. Is Princess Di waving to Molly, and it says, Princess Diana, accompanied by the two princes, waves to her good friend, the Viscount of Luxor.
Viscount of Luxor.
True story.
That is magnificent.
Absolute true story.
And if Luxor, that was...
Well, that's the name of Molly's house.
I know, I was about to say, if you've ever been to Molly's house, you would understand Molly's fascination
with Egyptology.
Yeah, and everything to do with Egypt. I remember going in there one day and he pointing out all these Egyptian relics, except for one of them, right underneath it, was Billy Idol's signature on the wall. I didn't realise he was Egyptian, Billy Idol.
It's a relic. As are we all.
Exactly. As you said, we got into a bit of a name-dropping session now. I mean, nobody likes a name dropper. Matt Damon told me that one.
The Queen actually mentioned that to me as well. Actually, it might have been the Pope. Not sure. It was one of them.
Okay, let's finish on there. Two very lame jokes like that. This has been the Sports Report. You're on influencertv.com.au. See you next time.
Did we talk any sport?
Not much.
Maybe a little.